For 5 years I, Ethan Morgan, poured my heart into my relationship with Julia Hayes. Ours wasn't a whirlwind romance. It was a quiet kind of love, the kind that grows steadily like ivy on brick. We had routines, late-night tacos eaten cross-legged on the kitchen floor, whispered dreams exchanged beneath worn blankets, and sleepy mornings shared over coffee and vinyl records. We imagined our future vividly. A modest autumn wedding under falling leaves, a fixer-upper cottage somewhere quiet, and a golden retriever we'd already named Marley. But what feels like home to one person can start to feel like confinement to another, especially someone who craves unpredictability, who thrives in chaos masked as ambition. It began subtly. Julia started taking on more freelance gigs, photography sessions at odd hours, branding work that kept her hunched over her laptop until 2 a.m. Then came the client retreats, weekends out of town that never seemed to align with any social media posts or mutual knowledge. The warmth between us thinned like fog at sunrise. Calls became short, texts vague. Her phone, once left face up anywhere, was suddenly always locked and always hidden. There's a specific kind of silence that speaks louder than words, the kind your gut hears even when your mind denies it. One night, I sat beside her on the couch, the TV flickering soundlessly. I turned to her and said calmly, "No judgment, no anger, just honesty. Is there someone else?" She didn't answer right away. Her eyes met mine with a glassy uncertainty. Finally she whispered, "I don't know what I want anymore, Ethan. I need space." I didn't argue, didn't yell, didn't plead. Instead I stood up, grabbed my jacket and packed what I could carry. A backpack with clothes, my laptop, my wallet. That night, I drove to my old friend Darren's place 2 towns over, my hands shaking, my chest tight. When people asked why I left, I just said, it was time for a change. But inside I was unraveling. I wasn't mourning her exactly. I was grieving the version of her that once believed in us. I went dark. No calls, no text, no social media lurking, no checking in with mutual friends for gossip crumbs. I knew, that going back to someone who shattered your trust and never owned up to it was just pain dressed in hope. Month 4 was the lowest. Food felt like sand. I went days on coffee and silence. I buried myself in work and workouts, anything to keep my body too tired to care. Nights were long. Dreams were cruel. I'd see her in them, smiling, familiar, and wake up gutted all over again. But then month 6 came. One morning, I realized I hadn't thought of her when I opened my eyes. And that laughter, my own, sounded real for the first time. By the 10th month, I had signed a lease on a little apartment on the edge of town. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. I painted the walls a shade of navy I liked, built floating shelves from scratch, and adopted a rescue dog, nothing like Marley. His name was Max, a scrappy mutt with a crooked tail and eyes that understood heartbreak. A year to the day since Julia had asked for space, she returned. It was a quiet Sunday morning. I was drenched in sweat from a run, earbuds still in, music blaring, when I saw her standing at the edge of my driveway. She looked smaller than I remembered. Familiar, yes, but tired. Her eyes were puffy. She clutched a scarf I hadn't seen in a year, mine, and a photo of us, taken by a lake on a sunny day when we still believed forever meant something. "Ethan," she said. Froze. She stepped closer, voice trembling. I didn't know where else to go. I didn't speak. I didn't move to let her in. She held up the photo like a peace offering. I carried this everywhere. Told myself I'd call. But I couldn't. I didn't think I deserved to. He was exciting, wild. But when it mattered, he vanished. You were my anchor. And I let go. For a brief moment I felt it all again. The warmth, the pain, the echoes of what once was. But I had rebuilt myself piece by piece, alone and in silence. And I wasn't about to trade that piece for the illusion of what had already died. She reached for me. I stepped back. "You chose to leave, Julia," I said. "And I let you." I paused, the words rising from a place of hard-earned clarity. "I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because you did. Tears welled in her eyes. I know I broke us. I kept hoping you'd come back. I looked at her steadily. I didn't come back, because I finally started valuing myself more than the dream of us. Her lip trembled. She nodded slowly. You were my home, she whispered, voice barely audible. And now I'm lost. Maybe, I said gently, you'll find a new home one day. And treat it better than you treated me. She stood there for a moment, then turned and walked away. No hug. No final word. Just as I had 1 year ago. I went inside, Max trotting beside me. I sat down, heart heavy but clear. It didn't ache for her anymore. It ached from release. From finally putting down the burden I carried alone for too long. Leaving isn't weakness. It's self-respect in motion. And when they come back, you'll see. You never needed them to be whole. You only needed to remember that you always were.